Let me say good afternoon for those who are online and for those who are presently in church with me. Let me say a big thank you also to Elder Walker, who is my tech team, who is doing a wonderful job. Let me say thanks also to the AY department for facilitating me and this program. This morning we have section 1 of religious liberty and discrimination. We are now at part 2, where we will look at freedom of worship. Whatsoever you need or see desired to worship, it is your freedom of liberty to do so. Let me extract this, a quotation from Sir Patrick Allen. Jamaicans were encouraged by the Governor General Sir Patrick Allen to take seriously the fundamental human right of religious liberty, which is protected by the nation constitution. He was speaking at the Festival of Religious Freedom convened by the SDA Church and other religious entities at the national arena. He noted that this celebration right is being from millions of people around the world who have times suffered because of their belief. Jamaica, however, is among the minority countries where this liberty is enjoyed. We come today presenting all faith with our practice in this country to give thanks for that freedom which is so essential to peace and stability. We have a duty to ensure that this freedom is not undermined. So what we're looking at is that each and every one of us have a responsibility to ensure that we have religious freedom, the freedom to worship, the freedom to go to church as we choose. In Jamaica Constitution of 1962, guaranteeing freedom of conscience and religion. This includes the freedom to practice religion both publicly and privately, and the freedom of citizens to change their religion belief whenever they want. So what do we do in a time like this? How do we reach here? In everything, sweat, blood, and tears must combine to have achievement. Let me bring to you the great controversy, looking at chapter 4, reading from page 58 to 56, written by Ellen G. White. The Waldensians, in 1487, Pope Innocent VIII ordered the extermination of the Waldenese. Some 1,700 were killed in 1655 by the Catholic force for their religious freedom. Let me tell you that an arena was built, and you know that arena consists of spectators. The Waldenese were brought in the arena, and they were set upon like wild dogs. Lions were set upon them to devour them. Why? Because they believe in religious freedom. Look back again, chapter 6. Us and Jerome, they were executed. Jerome was burned to the stake because he believed that one have the right to read and understand the Bible his or herself and not dictated by the Catholic Church. We too must share our part in supporting the cause that one must have religious belief. Let me share a story with you. The CEO was very furious, aggressive, and he said to me, "Let me tell you something. I don't work with days when it comes to my business. It's either you work on the Sabbath or you leave the work, you resign my work." And he told me to step outside and decide. But brethren, as a father, I tend to remember my two children. I am the breadwinner. I am the person who provided for them to eat. And I sat as a human being and I'm started to get weak. But what struck me is that when I recall his statement, and he said, "I don't romp with Sabbath. Is either you work or you leave the work. Is either you work or you resign." Then I say to myself, then indeed, I must obey God more than man. So when I asked the secretary for a sheet of paper, she said to me, "Mr. Campbell, remember your children. Remember your light bill. Remember those things. Oh, you're going to survive." And I said to her, when I stand up for God, God will indeed stand up for me. And I resigned the work. Where am I going? I don't know. But I leave it to God. God to use what you save. And every week it's going down, going down, going down. And let me tell you, when I reached the rock bottom, I took up the phone and called a brother of mine in the state, and he sent me $100. I say to God, this $100, I'm going to use it, feed my family, and get work out of it. Let me tell you, everything done as I asked. I've been employed, so God came through for me. Let me read from the Seventh-day Adventist Manual. What is the religious liberty? The Department of Public Affairs and Religious Liberty promote and maintain religious liberty, with particular emphasis upon liberty of conscience. Religious liberty includes human rights to have or to adopt the religious of one's choice, to change religious belief according to conscience, to manifest one religious individual or a community with fellow believers in worship, observance, practice, witness, or teaching subject to respect for one equivalent right of others. Since religious liberty includes the right to observe day of rest and activity, support the right of the Adventist Church to keep the Sabbath according to the fourth commandments of God. The department also monitor and interpret current events that may reflect prophetic scenario. So therefore, the Religious Liberty Department also sensitize members of any international event that occur to prevent the freedom of religious liberty. It's not only I who have experienced a bad religious liberty incident. We have Sister July, who I will ask to come online and tell you about religious liberty discrimination.